Welcome to The Proof, the program powered by Africa Check, the continent's leading fact-checking organization. I'm your host, Dashen Usman, and in this episode, we turn our attention to a series of recent speeches by Kenya's President William Ruto. He drew comparisons between Kenya and its neighbors, Tanzania and Uganda, on issues around the size of the economy, the country's savings, and also more during his time in office. But are these claims correct? Let's break it down in this episode. Welcome to The Proof. Makinia Juma, the deputy editor of Africa Check Kenya, joins me to look into the President Ruto's claims. Makinia, thank you for joining me. Let's get right to it.
Thank you for having me, Dashen.
Let's start with looking at the claims that the president made in his speech. How many claims are we talking about?
President William Ruto made 14 claims that include comparison of Kenya's National Social Security Fund with those of Uganda and Tanzania. He made statements about the size of the neighboring economies and how much citizens in each country contribute to the retirement savings. He also spoke about the past and present contribution rates to Kenya and NSSF. So some of these statements were accurate, others not quite. He claimed Uganda and Tanzania national social security funds are larger than Kenya's, that Uganda economy is just a quarter the size of Kenya, and that Tanzania economy stands at 50% of Kenya's. He said in Uganda, everyone saves 10% of their salary. In Tanzania, 8%. And in Kenya, both employees and employers each save 6% of the employee's salary. Ruto added that Kenyan workers and employees previously contributed 200 Kenya shillings, which is about $1.5 monthly, to the NSSF. These are some of the claims we examined.
Thank you for the run-through. It gives us a foundation, Makinia. Now, up first is the National Social Security Fund. Were the president's claims correct?
Yes, both claims about Uganda and Tanzania pension funds hold up. Uganda National Social Security Fund is about twice the size of Kenya, so that claim is accurate. For Tanzania, while the most recent data is from 2022-2023 showing asset worth 7.6 trillion Tanzanian shillings, it still confirmed that Tanzania funds was larger than Kenya's at that time. Data for 2024 isn't yet available, but based on what we know, Ruto claims are correct.
Let's move ahead, Makinia. How did you rate the claims about the sizes of the three countries' economies?
So to assess this, we looked at the GDP. GDP is the standard measure of country's economy output, and based on data from National Statistics, the World Bank, and the IMF, Uganda economy is about 45% the size of Kenya, not 25% as claimed. Tanzania economy ranges between 65 and 75 of Kenya's, depending on the data source, so not 50. So both claims about economy sizes are inaccurate.
What about the claims he made about how much workers save in each country?
In Uganda, its employer are legally required to contribute 10% of their employees' gross salary to the NSSF. Employees contribute 5%. So while 15% is saved overall, the president's suggestion that everyone saves 10% is misleading. In Tanzania, the law requires 20% of employees' salary to be contributed. So 10% from the employer, 10% from the employee. So Ruto figure of 8% is incorrect. The actual contribution rate is much higher.
Was he correct that Kenyan employers and employees used to contribute 200 Kenyan shillings monthly to the NSSF?
Yes, this claim is accurate. When Kenya NSSF was established in 1965, both employers and employees contributed 40 Kenya shillings each. By 1990, that doubled to 80 Kenya shillings each. And in 2001, it rose to 200 shillings each. That structure remained in place until 2013 NSSF Act, which introduced a gradual increase to 6% of pensionable income for both parties. But due to legal challenges, the law wasn't fully implemented until 2023 when it was declared constitutional and put into effect.
Well, let's go on a break, Makinia. When we come back, we will look at how the claim that Kenya's economy has surpassed Angola and Ethiopia during Ruto's presidency and other claims about the Kenyan economy. Stay with us. Welcome back and thank you for staying. This is The Proof, powered by Africa Check. Now, we've looked into recent speeches made by the President of Kenya, William Ruto, where he made comparisons between Tanzania, Uganda, and Kenya. He said Tanzania's economy was 50% the size of Kenya's, while Uganda's was a quarter. He also spoke about savings, saying that under his leadership, Kenya's national savings had nearly caught up with those of both countries in just 2 years. The deputy editor of Africa Check Kenya, Makinia Juma, is with me as we go through these claims. Makinia, and let's move to Ruto's claim that Kenya's economy has surpassed Angola and Ethiopia during his time in office.
It's a complicated one. According to the World Bank figures, Kenya has overtaken Angola by 2022, but Ethiopia remained ahead. However, IMF data indicates that Kenya overtook both Angola in 2023 and Ethiopia in 2024. This discrepancy between major data sources make it difficult to reach a firm conclusion. But until we get further clarification, we rated this claim as unproven.
Interesting indeed. Are there any other claims you rated as unproven?
Yes, Ruto said that in 2022, Kenya was the 8th largest economy in Africa. World Bank data ranked Kenya 7th in Africa in 2022, while the IMF placed Kenya as at 8th. The variation may be due to differing methods of data sources, but until we get clear confirmation on this, the inconsistency means that we cannot conclusively verify the claim.
Thank you, Makinia. Now, he also said that in just 2 years, from 2023 to 2025, the country has mobilized 280 billion in national savings. Was he right?
So from July 2022 to June 2024, the NSSF collected 89.16 billion Kenya shillings. For the president claim of 280 billion in savings under his administration, the collection would need to triple. This is an unlikely scenario. Even if we considered broader national saving data, the increase from 2022 to provisional 2024 figure is about 228 billion, not 280. The claim is incorrect.
Let's discuss what he said about Kenya's savings to GDP ratio, Makinia. But first, what does the savings to GDP ratio mean?
So the saving to GDP ratio shows the portion of a country's income that is saved instead of spent. A higher ratio suggests more resources are available for long-term investment, like infrastructure or education, while a lower ratio can indicate more short-term consumption and less investment potential.
President Ruto said Kenya's savings to GDP ratio currently stands at between 10 and 12%. What's the verdict?
Yes, his numbers fall within the acceptable range. Treasury data shows savings were 13.1% of GDP in 2022-2023 and 13% in 2023-2024. On calendar year basis, savings were 14.2% in 2022 and dropped to 11.2% in 2023 and is projected at 12.3% in 2024 and 2025. The World Bank reports similar figures. So given that Ruto cited 10 to 12% range, we rated this claim as mostly correct.
Thank you for your insights, Makinia. So why is it important to fact-check the statements of leaders?
So fact-checking matters because leaders and politicians' word can influence public opinion, can influence investors' confidence, and even economic decisions. So misleading claims about growth, employment, or policy, it can impact policymaking and can lead poor planning and misplaced trust. So by verifying what leaders say in public, we promote transparency, support informed policy making, and help ensure accountability in governance.
Thank you, Makinia. And that will be all for now.
Thank you so much, Dashen. It's my pleasure.
That's it for this episode of The Proof, powered by Africa Check. If you have comments or a claim you want us to fact check, tweet at AfricaCheck_NG. Follow News Central on our social media platforms. We are at News Central TV. And you can check out our website. It's www.newscentral.africa. Stay vigilant and stay informed. I am Dashen Usman.